This is Julie. I'm here with Lex from Brexworks Games. He's going to explain us how we would play Holotype.
Perfect.
All right.
Great. So Holotype is a game for 2 to 5 players. It's a worker placement game with a bumping mechanic and a theme of paleontology.
I love it.
So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be placing your workers on various places on the board to accomplish certain tasks. But like I said, there is a bumping mechanic in the game. So there are 3 different types of workers. There's a paleontologist, there's a grad student, and there's a field assistant. So depending upon, first off, the type of worker that you place, they have certain levels of powers of things that they can do on the board, such as the grad student and the paleontologist can do a little bit more than the field assistant. But the way the bumping mechanic works is that paleontologists can bump other paleontologists and every other worker. Grad students can only bump grad students and field assistants can only bump field assistants. So, as an example, normally in a worker placement game, I might not be able to go here. But what I can do is I can take my field assistant, I can bump your field assistant, putting it back in your player board, and that allows, first off, 2 things. First off, I can now use this space, in which case what I would be able to do is I'd be able to flip over this card, visit the Morrison Formation, I'd be able to roll 3 fossil dice. Based on that result, I get 3, 4, 5 fossils from the supply.
Nice.
And I'd put them here. I have 1 too many, so that's going to then go into the museum. So not only can I use that space, but then now I have bumped this worker over to this space, which means that you would now be able to use that worker, creating for a very fast-paced game. So there's no real, say, rounds in the game, because there are turns certainly, but it's all continuous. So the game will just continue and continue with people placing, recalling if necessary, bumping people. And also, like I said, everyone will be able to get a grad student, but the grad student is not unlocked until you're able to publish 3 papers, because otherwise you don't have the recognition, and then that's when you gain access to the field assistant. I mean, to the grad student. So every time you publish a paper, and in order to publish a paper, as an example, this will take 4 Cretaceous or green fossils, 3 research, and by visiting the publishing journal, as an example, what I'd be able to do is I'd be able to take my paleontologist, bump that paleontologist, and then I'd be able to spend those resources in order to publish that paper. Every time a paper is published, we advance the field advancement track by 1. So the game will end when it hits 24. But every time the tracker reaches a green star, that allows me to select then a milestone achievement. Milestone achievements will allow for a little bit more of asymmetrical play. It'll add a little bit more of helping me accomplish my goals based upon, say, what my personal objective is. So points are scored in 3 different ways. First off, publishing holotypes. So these are the scores that you can get. Also, there are various ways that you can get points by publishing or completing your personal objectives. But then also we have these global objectives up here. So global objectives are truly global in that they are ways for you to gain points by not just using your work that you've completed, you can also reference the papers that other people have published toward that goal. So as an example, this goal right here to advance this theory is 3 Cretaceous theropods. So here I have 1 theropod. Over here is a 2nd theropod, Cretaceous theropod, and then over here is our 3rd. So what I can do is, since I see that, and I might not want to say anything because it's kind of like a rummy in the pile kind of thing, you never want to say anything, so what I'd be able to do is I'd be able to take my worker, specifically either a grad student or a paleontologist, because field students cannot publish. And then I'd be able to spend 5 research, since I'm using other people's research, to be able to take this disc and move it here. So that's going to accomplish a couple things. First off, I'm the only one that can accomplish that. But then also, when 3 of these cards are completed, equal to the number of players, that's the 2nd end game condition. So the game can either end through the field advancement track or through the global objectives. But then also, by doing that, I've uncovered 5 victory points too. So the more I do, the greater the points, to a maximum of 35 points.
That's cool.
And that's pretty much the game.
So it's a 3 to 5 player game?
If I said 3, my apologies. 2 to 5 players.
2 to 5.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. And about how long does it take to play, say, with 2 players?
2 players, it can take anywhere between a half an hour to maybe 45 minutes is what we've seen on average. If you're very familiar with worker placement, if you're very familiar with the rules, because all the iconography on the board explains exactly what everything is. So everything is right here. You don't really have to reference the rules all too much.
Okay.
So you could just continuous play and bump and things like that, and then the game could last maybe about a half an hour, but typically for 2 people it's about 45 minutes.
45. And what's the MSRP on this, please?
MSRP is $59.95.
$59.95.
Yep.
Okay, and we just go to your website to find this?
Yes,
Awesome.
and that's brexworksgames.com.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.